Greetings everyone, welcome back to my sketchbook. In the last video, we were looking at this, which I ended up putting a Lego Minecraft character instead of this into. We also got a look at these Hot Wheels, which is a Gotta Go truck that has like a hot sauce kind of logo thing going on with it, as well as the Hot Wings well, I don't know, Super Racer. Anyway, so last one we drew a picture of a Minecraft Skibidi toilet jockey, and this time we're going to do slightly better. So let's zoom in. Oh, maybe not that much. Well, we could. Let's go to there. Lock it down. And see what we can do. So, always takes me a moment to try to figure out what I'm going to do with certain things. I'm not going to go with a perfectly square figure because, well, I don't have to. And that's just fun for me. Why not? I am going to draw a skeleton, though. I'm going to give him kind of similar features, possibly, to Minecraft, but not really. I'm going to do my interpretation of something, so. And I'm going to kind of sketch it, so it's going to be kind of messy-like, and then maybe I'll figure out a way to clean up the image a little bit later on. So yes, we are approximately 1 month away from the start of Inktober, and I hope that many of you will be around to join me on such an adventure. That's really where I started doing this YouTube thing, just for fun, so that my nieces and nephews and friends could come and hang out. And yeah, so the main idea for how I do Inktober is to just, that doesn't look as skeleton-like. Anyway, to set a time limit and not be under too much pressure to work on stuff. So I set a time limit of 10 minutes, and I try to stick to that for the most part. If something needs a little bit more time, I don't think that's a terrible thing to do, but you know, to give yourself kind of at least 10 minutes and do a little doodle that could be the size of your thumb, let's say, like your thumbnail. Yeah, it doesn't have to be too complicated. That does look a little blurry. Let's try that there again. Anyway, so that is it. Feel free to come back and hang out. Oh, this looks more like a snake or something. The idea that I have in my head at this moment is still related to, like, you know, the Skibidi toilet thing. Not perfectly, but we'll see how this goes. It's kind of fun to come up with something that doesn't really make sense. I remember when this was like a trend thing where people kind of went silly for it and became very much, I don't know, sort of like a slang thing that people just walk around and say Skibidi all the time. It's kind of nonsense, right? Trend has kind of died down a little bit for the most part. People kind of say it, but I think, the ones who were saying it most prevalently were told in school, yeah, we don't really want you to say this anymore. It's kind of annoying. And in some ways, because, the schools don't really accept it, it became popular again. And now I think it's just kind of like, now everyone says it and it's not as cool anymore. It was kind of fun when it was almost a secret language. Now it's like, yeah, it's common. It's commonplace. So people are looking for the next trendy thing to say. I don't really follow those trends perfectly, although as you can see right now, I'm drawing something related to it. Now, let's see. It's funny, I remember a few years ago, I was at a place that sells like used furniture and things of that nature, anyway, let's just say. And I guess someone had done a renovation of a house and they were getting rid of uh, some of the things in the place that they didn't need or want anymore, and they would have donated it to this company, which is kind of a charity-based thing. So it's probably not terrible for me to say it out loud, even though I'm not sponsored by it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Habitat for Humanity. So the point I'm trying to make is I saw a toilet in there for sale, and it was black. And I thought, how awesome would it be to own that thing? And how kind of disgusting it could be as well, because you can't really see how dirty something is, I suppose. Like you can see pink toilets, and that was like a popular thing a long time ago. Light green and blues and things like that. I think I even saw like an orange toilet once. Anyway, but this was like a short, kind of square looking thing. And I thought, yeah, that would be kind of awesome in a weird way to have that toilet. I did not buy it because it would be kind of tragic in a lot of ways too. So the idea that I'm doing right now is still along the lines of the Skibidi toilet thing, but in this one, I'm thinking more of a hot sauce label. So that's where I'm going with that. Trying to keep it kind of narrow. Because I'm not sure why that is. Like, you don't buy hot sauce in big, mean bottles. You usually buy it as if it's like, well, not so much sacred, but something you'd use sparingly. And that's probably the best way to kind of treat it anyway. Although I know people that they really like their hot sauce and they use a lot of it, so you go through a lot of little small bottles, so you might as well buy a big bottle. If it exists that way, I don't know. I don't buy hot sauce in bulk. So that's a pretty plain looking toilet that I have going here. often mounted to the floor. This is just a silly idea, mind you, so we're not going all out here. How about right up here, we'll put in semi-fancy writing. Something like that. And just right up above it, I'll dip my pen here, we can write this. We'll make it semi-beautiful as well. So as I said, I do believe people just walking around saying this is kind of passé, if that's a word that people still kind of use. I mean, that's French, but you know, people adopt words and use them for whatever. Skibidi toilet jockey. Down here, let's write tagline. Outrageous. Dip the pen. That seems kind of rude. And let's see, would we use specific color for this label that we could put on a bottle? I don't know, but it does seem kind of interesting. Maybe it could. You know, would you go with like fire around that? I suppose. But when I look at these Hot Wheel cars, that truck has fire on it, so these are like old-fashioned kind of like scalloped flames. And even this character here is screaming fire as well. So let's look at the flames around the 2025. Well, let's try that. Let's try to put some flames around this, but should be at this height? Well, I don't know. I don't really draw scalloped flames. So this is an experiment. That looks like something else going on here. I'll draw one here like that. And let's go with another branch there. Flame like that. One here. Oh, let's go right there too. Because I think you keep the flames kind of moving in a certain direction. Maybe, although you wouldn't have that little loop there like that. All right, let's try to do, but not the same on that side. But something that we know it's from the same kind of thing going on. Maybe another one. It almost looks like claws. Get that one to go in a little tighter. So maybe like antlers too. That's an interesting idea. So they're not the same. But they kind of keep within the same kind of grouping. Just a little bit. And then we'll do an inside. So I didn't plan on doing this. But how much fun can you have in your sketchbook? Well, you can do whatever you like. If you want, you can keep things as you wish. Yeah, no. And then down here, we're going to write late warning. So hot sauce is generally rated in Scoville, and you can get brutal hot sauce that just, to me, doesn't taste like anything other than the inside of your mouth peeling. So that's up to you. Live that life as you see fit. All right, that is a label that I created for hot sauce as a rough idea, using a term that once was cool. I don't know if it's really in use anymore. I'm just going to go around the outside of this just a little bit. And I know people really enjoy hot sauce. they enjoy the challenge of it. And the flavor, I guess there's a bit of flavor involved in that. So yes. How about a little bead of sweat here that only we will know that this poor creature has suffered so. Let's zoom in on this just a little bit. That's kind of funny. All right, well, I think that is it. Ooh, that thing shakes a lot. I don't think there's anything else that I can kind of do with that little idea. It is pretty silly. I'm going to go out one more. No, that's not how it works. Come on, technology. Be friendly to me. Cool beans. That is it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for hanging out. And yeah, and you know, if you've hung out in the past, thanks for being there for something like 400 videos that I put on YouTube, and stay tuned to, in a month from now, Inktober, because that'll be kind of fun again too. So anyway, I hope you have a great day. Ciao for now.